Heaven Sent, Blink, Vincent and the Doctor. We all know which Doctor Who episodes are considered the all-time greats, but there are also plenty of strong episodes that don't get as much love as they deserve. So, with that in mind, I'm Ellie with Who Culture, here with the 10 most underrated Doctor Who episodes. Number 10, The Unicorn and the Wasp. Out of David Tennant's 3 series as the Doctor, his one spent travelling with Catherine Tate is looked back on with the most fondness. The relationship between the 10th Doctor and Donna Noble was totally different to anything else New Who had seen up to that point. 2 bickering friends, as opposed to the dashing hero and his love interest. It was a refreshing, much-needed change. Donna was the companion for the much-loved Library Saga and the epic Series 4 finale, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. But quite possibly her most enjoyable adventure involved the most famous detective writer of all time. In The Unicorn and the Wasp, the Doctor and Donna travel to 1926, where they meet Agatha Christie. Then, people start dropping dead under mysterious circumstances. What are the chances? That'd be like meeting Charles Dickens and he's surrounded by ghosts at Christmas. See what I did there? This episode transplants our lead characters into a Christie-style mystery and has tons of fun with it. The giant wasp monster is memorable, if a little non-frightening, and there are plenty of twists and turns as the mystery unfolds. Also, the scene where the Doctor is doing charades in the kitchen is a classic. In many ways, it's the perfect setup for a Doctor Who story. An intriguing mystery, a dash of sci-fi, a cast of interesting cannon fodder, and plenty of silly comedy. Not to mention a cameo from David Tennant's dad. Number 9, Last of the Time Lords. When it comes to series finales, New Who has a lot of good ones to choose from. There's the aforementioned Stolen Earth and Journey's End combo, the Battle of Satellite 5 from Series 1, and Peter Capaldi's return to Gallifrey in Heaven Sent and Hellbent. And then there's the 3-part send-off to Series 3, Utopia, The Sound of Drums, and The Last of the Time Lords. Utopia gets praise for the reveal of Derek Jacobi as the Master, The Sound of Drums is bigged up for John Sims' unhinged portrayal of the same character, and Last of the Time Lords, well, Space Jesus! The bit at the end where the Doctor is transformed from Dobby the house elf to his original form through the power of prayer and magic is rightfully slated. It's hokey nonsense that almost derails the entire episode. However, there's a lot of good stuff outside this moment. Freema Agyeman gives her best performance as Martha Jones, from her journey around the Earth to walking away from the Doctor, and Ten's emotional goodbye to the Master as he cradles him in his arms is melodrama at its best. It's not perfect by any means, but are any of us? Well, actually, Tom Baker is. Number 8, Amy's Choice. Rory Williams was originally portrayed as a bumbling idiot who was about as useful as a see-through bathroom door. Even his fiancée showed him little to no respect, going as far as to hook up with the Doctor the night before her wedding. Oh, Rory. This all changed in the brilliant Series 5 episode Amy's Choice, where the Doctor, Amy and Rory are caught between 2 worlds. One where they're stalked by evil pensioners, and one where the TARDIS is about to crash into a cold star. Rory ends up being killed in the old person reality, prompting Amy to proclaim that this is the fake one. As she puts it, any world without Rory isn't worth living in. This genius bit of writing from Simon Nye completely changed Amy and Rory's dynamic and made their relationship much easier to invest in. The uncertainty over which version of events was real was also really well done, as you genuinely believe that either reality could be true. We also get some of the best character interactions and memorable one-liners in all of New Who. For example, I'm surprised you haven't got a little purple space dog just to ram home what an intergalactic wag you are. Or, if we're going to die, let's die looking like a Peruvian folk band. Top marks for dialogue. And come on, anything with Toby Jones in it is automatically great. Number 7, Knock Knock. Landlords are among the most evil creatures in the known universe, so it's hardly surprising that one was made into a Doctor Who villain. Series 10's Knock Knock begins with Bill Potts moving into a grand old house, which, fun fact, was also used for the Wester Drumlins house in Blink, owned by guest star David Suchet. The kindly old gent is hiding something though, as his tenants begin to go missing. They're definitely not getting their deposit back, are they? Enter the 12th Doctor, who discovers that the house is home to various wooden creatures who are out to cause harm to its human occupants. But instead of being a simple good guys versus bad guys narrative, there is more to this story than meets the eye. Bill's time on Doctor Who seemed to come and go without much fanfare. She was following on from Jenna Coleman's Clara, which was a tough task, and was often overshadowed by Matt Lucas's Nardole whenever he was around. She gets a great showing here though, as does Suchet in his guest appearance. Having an actor of his quality paired up with Capaldi was always going to yield good results, as is evident in their eventual confrontation. It's spine-tingling stuff. Number 6, It Takes You Away. Falling linear TV ratings and a perceived drop in quality following Chris Chibnall taking over as showrunner will likely dominate how most people remember Jodie Whittaker's run as the Doctor. That's a real shame, as her time on the show did yield its fair share of strong episodes, including the penultimate episode of Series 11, It Takes You Away. Here, the Doctor and her fam travel to Norway to help a young woman find her missing father. But as is always the case with Doctor Who, things are not that simple. Everyone ends up in an alternate dimension where they see and hear things that would be impossible in the real world. There are also flesh-eating moths and a memorable one-off villain in Ribbons, who is soon devoured by said moths. As well as the fantastically atmospheric set design that brings the buffer zone to life, this episode has plenty of emotional high points in the alternate dimension too, such as Bradley Walsh's Graham encountering a spectre of his dead wife. Full credit to writer Ed Heim for creating such a full and engaging world. If only this triumph had come during a time where more people were watching, and if only that frog hadn't been so laughable. Number 5. Last Christmas. From the Christmas Invasion to Twice Upon a Time, the Doctor Who Christmas specials have usually provided good to great stories of the Doctor fighting some sort of holiday-themed menace. One that doesn't get discussed nearly enough is 2014's Last Christmas, which paired the Time Lord up with Santa Claus himself. Played by Nick Frost, this Santa is actually a subconscious creation used by our heroes to escape the Dream Crabs, a race of telepathic, copyright-skirting facehuggers who eat their victims' brains while they're in an induced sleep. Cue a story that takes place across multiple different dreams, as the Doctor and Clara must question what is real, what isn't real, and if they even want to know. While this story has some of that Moffat overcomplicated stink on it, it's a runaway success, all things considered. It's probably the most ambitious Christmas special storyline-wise, which really must have confused people who were just tucking into their turkey and sprouts. Frost's banter clause is hilarious. The facehuggers, dream crabs, are nightmare fuel, and the emotional wallops come thick and fast. From Clara's goodbye to Danny to the Doctor pulling a Christmas cracker with a much older version of his beloved Impossible Girl. Number 4. Resolution. A Doctor Who Christmas special is one thing, but a New Year's Day special? Get out of town! Although The End of Time Part 2 was initially broadcast on the 1st of January, the practice of regular one-off Who specials on New Year's Day was established by 2019's Resolution. After a pair of archaeologists discover a strange artifact in Sheffield, which inexplicably became the centre of the universe from Series 11 onwards, their lives become endangered when a caseless Dalek possesses one of their bodies. The Doctor must stop the squidgy beast before it can grow to full power. In the middle of all this, Ryan's absentee father also reappears. Cue some nice acting from Tosin Cole, who is finally given something to sink his teeth into as the conflicted son. These two competing storylines mesh together nicely, leading to a big climax that ties everything together. This episode also gives us a unique look at the Doctor's most famous foe. Just how dangerous is a Dalek without its battle armor? Well, very as it turns out, very scary too. Despite being a largely forgotten episode, it's the best use of the Daleks we've seen in ages, and one of the stronger Doctor Who specials to air since 2005. Number 3. A Town Called Mercy. The 11th Doctor and the Old West, a match made in Stetson-loving heaven. The Doctor, Amy and Rory all arrive in a town called, Mercy, which is quite the dilly of a pickle. An alien cyborg named the Gunslinger is holding the town hostage unless it hands over another extraterrestrial hiding there. This giant monster with a gun for a hand is clearly the baddie, right? Actually, no, not quite. As A Town Called Mercy unfolds, the audience learns more about each side of this conflict and how first impressions may have been somewhat deceiving. 11 is forced to make a difficult moral choice, one that pushes him right to the edge. This leads to a fabulous moment where Amy talks him down and helps her raggedy doctor make the right decision. Companions aren't just in Doctor Who to ask stupid questions and help move the plot along. They should serve as the Doctor's conscience, their humanity, guiding them to the best possible outcome. Amy serves that function brilliantly here. A Town Called Mercy is thematically rich in other ways too, and touches on the ethics of war, which ties nicely into the ongoing, at the time, Time War arc, and makes the whole story feel that little bit more resonant. Throw in some really entertaining cowboy stuff, and you've got yourself a dang fine episode, partner. Number 2. The Idiot's Lantern. Doctor Who is versatile enough to be grim and serious one week and light and fluffy the next. Sometimes it's little more than a bit of light Saturday evening entertainment about a flying telephone box and badly made up aliens. It's pure pantomime sometimes, and that isn't always a bad thing. For example, The Idiot's Lantern. Set during the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler must figure out how newly installed televisions are stealing people's faces. This brings them face to stolen face with The Wire, an intergalactic entity played stupendously beautifully by Maureen Lipman. Lipman hams it up to the nines for this part, going full-on camp villain, complete with an overzealous evil laugh. She puts everything into her performance, and it is a joy to behold, not to mention terrifying for a young Ellie. The Idiot's Lantern is also one of David Tennant's best Doctor performances too, running the gamut from cheesy American accents to intimidating rage to despair at the loss of Rose, with a pinch of action hero thrown in to cap things off. It doesn't bring anything philosophical to the table or put your favourite characters through a meaningful arc, but The Idiot's Lantern does provide a solid 45 minutes of well-crafted entertainment, and that's more than acceptable. Number 1. Boomtown. All that stuff about Doctor Who not being serious? Forget it. Boomtown has some of the best written dialogue in the show's history. If you didn't know it was about aliens, this stuff could have come straight from the highest quality watershed drama. The Doctor, Rose, Mickey and Captain Jack have to deal with the surviving Slitheen from earlier in the series. Margaret Blaine is attempting to destroy Cardiff, but this episode becomes about way more than a plot to blow up Wales. Margaret reveals that she will be executed if she is returned to her home planet. This leads to a fascinating exploration of the rights and wrongs of the Doctor's heroic antics. Would he go as far as to condemn someone to death in the name of the greater good? The apex of the drama is the fantastic dinner scene between Christopher Eccleston and Annette Badland. Both actors are at the top of their game as they go back and forth and ponder her redemption, with the Doctor cutting to the heart of the matter with a single brilliantly written line. "You're pleading for mercy out of a dead woman's lips." Round of applause, Mr. Davis. Boomtown has very little boom and quite a lot of talking, which is likely why it isn't often thought of alongside the more whiz-bang popular episodes in the modern Who pantheon. But go back and watch it and you'll realise how good it really is. And that's everything for this list, but while we're taking a deep dive into specific types of episodes, why not take a look at the most rewatchable episodes of Doctor Who 2? Or if you're feeling dark, why not look at the most hated episodes of modern Doctor Who? In the meantime, I've been Ellie with Who Culture, and in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.